A 7-year-old boy pointed to a remote mountain ridge and said, "There's a man up there who needs help." He was right. July 17, 2003, the Cairngorm Mountains, Scotland. The weather was clear, but the air carried the sharp chill that never fully leaves the highlands. 7-year-old Finn was hiking with his father along a well-marked mountain trail. It was supposed to be an ordinary day. The route was considered safe, popular with families. Nothing unusual was expected. Then Finn stopped walking. His father took a few more steps before realizing the boy was no longer beside him. When he turned around, Finn was standing perfectly still, his eyes fixed on the northern ridge of the mountain, the dangerous side. The side hikers were specifically warned to avoid. Rocky, steep, unforgiving. "Finn?" His father called. The boy didn't answer. Instead, he slowly raised his arm and pointed toward the ridge. "There is a man up there," he said. "He needs help." His father followed the direction of his finger. There was nothing. Only gray stone, patches of snow, and a sky filled with drifting clouds. "Come on, son," he said gently. "There's nobody up there." But Finn didn't move. His eyes never left the ridge. "Yes, there is." His voice was calm, certain. "He can't move." Finn paused, then added something that made his father uneasy. "The man in the yellow jacket showed me." A cold feeling settled in his father's stomach. Children imagine things all the time, but this didn't sound like imagination. There was no excitement in Finn's voice. No fear, only certainty. After a moment's hesitation, his father radioed mountain rescue. He felt slightly foolish doing it. Yet something told him not to ignore the boy. The rescue coordinator listened quietly, then agreed to send a team, just to be safe. 2 rescuers began climbing the north ridge. Nearly 40 minutes passed. Then the radio crackled. The rescuers had found someone. A pilot named George, alive, but barely. His small aircraft had crashed on the mountain the previous afternoon. He had managed to crawl into a shallow snowbank for shelter before collapsing. His injuries prevented him from moving. Hypothermia was already taking hold. According to the rescue team, a few more hours might have been enough. George was carried down the mountain and transported to the base camp. Wrapped in blankets, he sat quietly while medics checked his condition. Then he noticed Finn, the little boy standing beside his father. George stared at him. For several seconds, neither of them spoke. Finally, George asked a question. His voice was barely above a whisper. "How did you know where I was?" Finn looked at him as if the answer were obvious. "The man in the yellow jacket told me." George froze. Finn continued. "He was standing right there. He said you were his friend." He said to hurry. The color seemed to drain from George's face. Slowly, he lowered himself onto one knee in front of Finn. "What did he look like?" he asked. Finn thought for a moment, then smiled. He was old. He had white hair. "Kind eyes." He kept smiling at me. The boy paused. He wasn't cold. He didn't seem scared. For a long moment, George said nothing. Then, with trembling hands, he reached into his jacket pocket. He pulled out a worn leather wallet. Inside was an old photograph. The edges were faded from years of being carried everywhere. George held it out. Was it him? Finn looked at the picture for less than a second, then nodded, immediately. "Yes, that's the man." A silence fell over the camp. The photograph had been taken in 1992. It showed George standing beside his co-pilot, a man named William. William had one habit everyone remembered. He wore the same bright yellow jacket on every flight. He claimed it brought him luck. 11 years earlier, William had died in an aircraft accident on that very mountain, almost to the day. George stared at the photograph, then at Finn, then back at the photograph. Slowly, he sat down in the snow. His head lowered. His shoulders began to shake. Not from the cold, not from his injuries, but from something far deeper. A few steps away, Finn's father watched in silence. He wanted to say something, but no words came. Because every so often, life presents a moment that refuses to fit inside logic. A moment that leaves questions no one can answer. A moment that stays with everyone who witnesses it. For George, for Finn, and for everyone standing on that mountain that day. This was one of those moments. If you enjoyed this story, write yes in the comments. And subscribe for more. Thank you for watching.